Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we discuss the popularity of the new 3DS in the rundown.
Plus, zombie killing madness goes live action in Dead Rising Watchtower.
Remember to build weapons. Lots of weapons.
And then we dig up the details on a new show from the creators of Heroes in Homeland.
Hold on a second.
Also coming up, we buckle up with a review of Scream Ride, help Bill Paxton kill zombies in Call of Duty's DLC, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. And I'll tell you what, you don't need a toy with an NFC chip to unlock portions of the show. You get everything right now, starting with the rundown. Things are looking very good for Nintendo. The new 3DS was the best-selling video game platform in February, selling 395,000 units and beating rival systems like the PS4 and Xbox One. The 3DS exclusives, Majora's Mask 3D and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, were also extremely popular, becoming the fastest-selling titles in both of those long-running franchises. The new 3DS offers a better screen and faster hardware, but the two biggest new features are a second analog thumbstick and built-in support for Nintendo's Amiibo figures. You can watch our review of the new 3DS on EPN.TV. When it comes to Frozen, audiences just can't seem to let it go, and neither can Disney. The studio has officially announced that it's making a sequel to Frozen. All the lead characters and voice actors will be back, along with the same directing duo. Disney had originally been coy about whether or not they'd make a sequel to Frozen, so this is sure to please the film's many fans, including my daughter. There's no release date yet for Frozen 2, but in the meantime, the new short film, Frozen Fever, is playing in theaters right now alongside the live-action Cinderella. Very kid-friendly discussion in the rundown today. Here to help me with that discussion is my pal Scott Jones.
That's because I'm a grown man on the outside, fully developed on the inside.
Little kid on the inside.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, what are we going into?
Well, Frozen 2, are you surprised that Disney is coming back with more Frozen for us?
No, I think it was only a matter of time. I guess I'm just surprised that it's not called Rogue 2 instead of Rogue
they're
1.
not mixing the
Star
universes.
Wars reference. Yeah, listen, I saw my nieces, I have very tiny nieces, at Christmas, and they are nuts for the princess stuff, as all girls are, and maybe some boys too.
Yeah.
And, I was in the Disney store a couple days ago. Princess stuff everywhere now.
Yeah.
I have to confess, I haven't seen Frozen. I know all the songs because you sing them as we're getting ready to shoot every day.
Yeah, I have to practice for my little girl.
People are mad for this stuff, and you're mad for it, and Ruby's probably mad for it.
And the quality bar is so high, and I think it started with Tangled, which is an excellent movie, and Frozen was an excellent movie, and Big Hero 6 is part of this new CG lineage that Disney is creating, so I can't wait to see what Frozen 2 is like. I know my daughter is super excited. It's not a surprise. Yeah, you have to see the first one. It's a surprisingly fantastic movie.
I won't be able to follow it?
No, it's a very, you will get lost in the storytelling.
There's a lady in it.
Now,
that's all I know.
Are you surprised about the Nintendo 3DS, the new 3DS selling so well, beating some of the other console juggernauts in February? This was the launch month, obviously, for the machine. So there was a lot of pent-up sort of expectation and people wanting that system. Are you surprised it sold as well as it did?
I'm surprised, and I'm happy for Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo's needed some good news for a while here. I've kind of felt like the Wii U's making a little bit of a comeback, and I'm glad that the sales figures, and I'm not one to really obsess over sales figures, I'm glad that they're good for this new machine. I think it's a great machine. It's an attractive machine, does a lot of very cool things. I'm interested in my 3DS again, and honestly, I was a little cool on it going into the later parts of last year and into the beginning of this year, and I'm back. I'm a huge 3DS fan again.
I can't wait for more 3DS stuff this year, and congrats to Nintendo on that. But right now, it's time to talk about zombies. Zach Lipovsky directed the reboot of Leprechaun, but now he is working on Dead Rising Watchtower, and Marissa caught up with him to get the goods.
You injected it! I did!
Dead Rising is happening. We're gonna get to see it, but give us a refresher though. How did you get involved with this project?
Well, Dead Rising was invented as a concept, as a video game that's made in Vancouver, which is where I'm from. And Tim Carter, who's the writer-producer, he's also a video game writer. And so he's kind of in that whole video game industry and writing. He knew the Capcom guys and pitched them on what the Dead Rising movie could be. They signed on board. He got Legendary on board to give them some money to make it, And then they looking for directors, and I was lucky enough to be the one who got the job.
As a video gamer, I always feel like an attachment to certain characters, and then when you hire an actor to play that role, it might be a miss for someone like me. So why did you choose these characters?
Well, the good thing about Dead Rising is that all the games take place in a new city with new characters, and our film takes place in between Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 3, so it's a new outbreak in the middle. So we were able to create some characters from scratch that worked really well for the film, and then put in characters from the game around them. So Rob Riggle plays Frank West, who's probably the most iconic character in the whole franchise.
Put down your phones and run for your goddamn life.
He is perfect. Like, even when he got announced as cast, the internet was just like losing their mind, because not only is he, you know, on The Daily Show played a journalist and stuff, but he's also been a soldier. He's been in wars and he's been through some dark, scary stuff, and that's Frank West too. He's someone who is a comedian and laughs off all this craziness, but underneath of it, he's got some dark issues from all the people he's had to like kill. And Jesse was awesome. Jesse really, really wanted this role. He fought really hard to get it because he really wanted to show people he had the chops to be an action hero. And I told him really early on, I was like, the action heroes I like are the action heroes that try really hard but are always screwing up. Like, Indiana Jones is never perfect. He's always like got a plan and then it falls apart and then he makes up a new plan as he's going. And Jesse was totally on board with that. And he did almost all his stunts. He would just like throw his body into the film every day. At the end of the days, we just buy him massages when we sent him home, because we'd be like, you're just gonna need to like he'd get out of the car like an old man, because he had just been throwing his body around so much.
Remember to build weapons. Lots of weapons.
When I met with you guys earlier while you were still making this movie, I got to play with some rubber weapons, but there were no combo weapons there. So what are we gonna see in this film?
Yeah, I mean, the combo weapons is one of the most iconic parts of Dead Rising, and you get to tape together all these crazy things. And I like begged Capcom. I was like, what are all the cool weapons you didn't put in the game? Because this is really hard. And they were like, every good one we came up with is in the game. Like, coming up with a good combo weapon and stuff. So we put in some of the most iconic ones, like the sledge saw. It's a 5-minute one-take action scene in the middle of the film where Jesse just goes to town on about 100 zombies with a sledge saw. And then we invented our own as well. And one of the cool things in the finale is there's actually combo weapon on combo weapon, so 3 people all with their own combo weapons fighting each other, which you never see in the game because it's always person on zombies. So I'm really excited for people to see the ones that we came up with, because they were pretty crazy, as they need to be, but also just the ones that everyone loves, like the broom machete, which is great. You got a broom with a machete on the end that you can just swing around.
Live your life without fear, and as a human, ask your doctor today if Zombrex is right for you.
I also need to know, how many gallons of blood did you guys go through?
It was funny because blood comes in different, levels. You've got the bucket of blood, that's the cheap stuff that you can just throw, but then there's the like really expensive stuff that you can, eat and put in your mouth or cover on some fake intestines so that when you can eat it. We went through a good amount.
Write this down. Dead Rising Watchtower premieres on March 27th on Crackle.
And watching zombie movies, kind of like ordering Chinese food. You eat it, then an hour later, you're hungry for another one.
Okay, well, stick around. EP's got to take a break. When we come back, we're taking a look at a new show from the creators of Heroes and Homeland.
An American citizen has been killed on foreign soil. It's my job to find out what happened.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Dig is the name of a new television show about an FBI agent trying to piece together an American murder that went down in Jerusalem. In doing so, he uncovers a conspiracy 2,000 years in the making. What?
Hey, what the hell are you doing here?
Police business. Good job. Try to go around my back. Now I'm gonna go around yours.
You're meant to be giving us a pass on this. Hold on a second.
Dig is a new series premiering this fall, and I happen to be joined by the ladies behind it. We have the writer and director. I love this. I love the lady love, but I need to know what the show is about.
It is a thriller set in an archaeological dig in Jerusalem, and Jason Isaacs plays an FBI agent who's there to investigate the murder of an American, but he uncovers a 2,000-year-old conspiracy and a lot of people who want to bring a certain result about in the Holy Land, and he has to deal with that while he's trying to solve this murder.
It's my job to find out what happened.
What was it about Jason that made you want to have him be a part of this?
Well, he's an extraordinary talent. I mean, Jason, just look at his resume. He's just this real guy that I believe him. I look at Jason and I believe him. I believe he's going to roll his sleeves up and get down and dirty. And he does. He's a great actor to have on set. He always wants to do his own stunts. There's a lot of action in this. He really wants to investigate the story. He really wants to investigate the script. And he's not afraid to go to darker places or more difficult or interesting places. And he just seemed like a right fit for Peter. He has the right level of machismo in a way that you want in your leading man, but there's also a beautiful vulnerability that he plays so well that is essential to the Peter, because Peter without the vulnerability and without his grief is really an uninteresting character. Who cares? But the fact that he's dealing with this makes him an incredibly compelling character, and Jason just did it what seemed so effortlessly.
Well, what did you love so much about the character? What drew you in with her?
I found that as I was reading this script, I just started to imagine this world that Emma lives in, and it was a world that I wanted to explore and understand. Also, I love her freedom and her genuine love for Jerusalem, for history, for understanding the root of things. She's got an incredibly inquisitive mind, and it's just a really interesting, layered character.
How did you bring this story and how did you present it? Because this is something really unique and very interesting. So how did you sell this and get this off the ground?
Well, you know, Tim and I wrote the script and we fell in love with the world. We went to Jerusalem a few times together. I was born and raised there. We spent a lot of time underground in tunnels in Jerusalem, and we just made sure that our passion to the story is felt by everyone.
Where are you running to?
The second episode of Dig will be airing in Canada later this week. Now, Scott Jones, did you bring your tools?
Tools? Look at these hands. No Jones has touched a hammer in 500 years.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have clarified. I meant virtual tools because we're building coasters and Scream Ride.
Oh, we're gonna go on a roller coaster?
Yeah.
I have to go put on my extra strength toupee glue. Be right back.
All right, do what you gotta do, Jones.
This was an out-of-nowhere game for me. This is called Scream Ride, and it's developed by Frontier Developments, who has been working feverishly on Elite Dangerous, and there's still a lot more content coming with that game. It's also coming to the Xbox One.
Yeah, well, this is clearly a separate team working on this one, because it's completely different.
And this is an Xbox One title, and when you hear that it's about roller coasters, you think, oh, it's another Roller Coaster Tycoon type of experience.
Which I was excited about, because I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon. Man, the hours that I spent with that game on my PC, I didn't have many friends growing up.
Right.
So that's what I used to do.
Yeah,
but jumping into this game, you don't have that same feeling at all. There are 3 different game modes that you're playing here. There's one where you're causing destruction, there's one where you're actually an engineer, and then another one where you're just a conductor of things.
Yeah.
So the 3 different gameplay styles, I guess were okay. I mean, all 3 of them didn't really blow me away, though.
Well, it's an on-rails game, isn't it? No pun intended. But, it's borrowing a lot from the Trials franchise and the Joe Danger type of gameplay, where you are passing through checkpoints and you're taking control of the coasters and you're trying to scare the passengers, which I think is an incredibly innovative idea. You put them through hell. You put them through living hell. You're going up on 2 wheels for a little while. You're doing super crazy corkscrews. You're going up as high as you can imagine and throttling down. You've also got a turbo button, and there's some timing scenarios. But because the experience is fully on rails and there's some physics that are tied to what we traditionally can appreciate around roller coasters, even though it is fun to crash them.
It is fun. So in that moment, I kind of felt like there was a Boom Blocks kind of
A little bit,
mentality.
I thought of Flat Out as well, that old racing series where you were trying to create as much vehicular damage as you could. It borrows from concepts for sure, but it is a unique one. And I also thought that building your own coasters and putting the participants through that terror was kind of fun as well, just to see
hated that.
how crazy it could be.
Building my own coaster.
Did you? Why?
Yeah,
Did you find it too difficult?
I always felt like it was working against me. Whenever I wanted to place the track down, I felt like it wanted me to do something else. And then when I did complete it, the passengers or the people that were riding weren't ever happy. They would always be flying out. And so I'd always be fighting with this friggin' mode, trying to get them to stay in their seats, but also be excited.
You need some more roller coaster tycoon training. Yes, you must go back to the classic,
but
I think.
it did make me miss that.
Yeah.
Owning my own theme park and managing all that, and maybe making my passengers fly off the rails into their bloody death. I mean, that did happen.
I know.
Yeah, honestly, if they made this game but actually in a roller coaster tycoon sim type game, I would love it so much more.
Right, so give you this option in there.
Yes.
And you know what? This kind of does feel like a sliver of something larger.
Yeah.
It also feels a little little weird on a console. I think
For
it's
sure.
probably better suited to a PC or a tablet.
Yeah.
Still, I liked it. Gets a 7 from me.
Gets a 5 from me. Hey, Jones, do you like roller coasters?
Are you kidding me? No Jones has touched a roller coaster in 500 years.
Oh, very interesting indeed. All right, up next, we're locking and loading with new DLC for Call of Duty.
I think it got me.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Do you hear that? It's the sound of a million Call of Duty Advanced Warfare players firing their fancy virtual guns all at the same time. It's kind of like a seashell. Well, there's some new DLC out now featuring some familiar faces.
No warning. No backup.
Approaching the landing zone and
No one left.
what the hell? Get it off!
But us.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare has not stopped delivering fun. They've got a new DLC pack out there called the Havoc DLC pack.
You are assuming that it's fun.
Well, I had a good time.
Well, you had a good time, but you're assuming that I had a good time.
Well, I liked the core game, and that was super fun. So if people just bought the core game and are still having fun with it, that statement
I'm
applies
just
still.
teasing you, Victor Lucas.
Did you
This
have
is so
fun?
much fun.
I know, right?
I had so much fun. Oh my goodness. Normally, I do not like first-person shooters at all,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And now jumping into this DLC, we have 4 new maps that we're getting with the Havoc pack.
Yep.
And those are really interesting in themselves, but we also have this exo-zombie story.
That's the reason to get this thing.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you, but you can tell me why.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Did you like the maps?
I
you
like the maps better.
The maps are cool.
Yeah.
But the Exo Zombies has Bill Paxton and more importantly, John Malkovich in there with all kinds of non sequiturs and crazy little comments, kind of action hero comments. And
Sure.
it's so, incongruous and out of kind of character for him. He played a similar type of character in the Red movies.
Right.
And he's so funny and weird. And it's a great vocal timbre to add to this experience because it's the zombies core gameplay, but now they have exo suits on them and some new abilities
Which
and
is
get
not
zombie
fair.
dog. I know,
The
it's
zombies
really
should
hard.
not be this talented, this
Yeah.
skilled in any way. They have no brain, so how do they know to use their
It's a new
zombie
breed of
suits?
zombies.
They're exosuits. That's
This
not
is
cool.
The evolution of the zombies.
I was not okay with it because you're
Yeah.
taking on wave after wave of these fantastical zombies that
Mm-hmm.
were just always. Honestly, I just felt like I was always up against it.
Yeah.
I never felt like I was going to win, because you never do.
I think it got me.
People will find all of the shortcuts and the ways to get past all of these levels. The people that I was playing with had been playing quite a bit, but they'd only gotten to like level 15 or 21 or
That's
something.
really good.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah.
But usually people blast through these things super quickly. They get to the end of the waves and they're fine. This is a lot harder. The environment's actually in the Exo Zombies core game, and I think they're adding to this with future DLC packs, which is really cool. I think they're also really interestingly designed. Like you're obviously spending the credits to unlock weaponry and stuff, but you actually unlock 3D printers that access new technology. You also get your own exosuit, and then you can run back. You can get contaminated, and then you run into these contamination centers and instantly take away all of the zombie goo that's all over you. And you can also get all of these dead drops and stuff that will drop in turrets and different things for you to help annihilate the zombies.
Yes,
So fun.
okay, you can also have the dead drops in the actual Havoc maps that
Yes.
you're jumping into as well, which is fun. I want to step away from the zombies for a second and talk about these map packs
Yep.
because they're so different. One of them particularly with the clowns.
Yeah.
There's a sideshow, I think it's called. It's a little crazy, but I love how there are bombs that are being dropped all the time and then you have to race to get them.
Yeah.
And it's so open that you just feel like someone can get you at any point of the game and it feels so exciting. And I was always shouting at my screen, but I loved it. I loved how angry this game was making me
Yeah.
because you always felt like even though you're up against it, you still have a fighting chance, where I don't feel that way with the Exo Zombies. I thought that I had written off Call of Duty completely because it wasn't my style of game anyway, but this past year with Call of Duty, I feel like it's sucked me back in again.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, one of the best games of 2014. This
Yeah.
is an excellent DLC pack, and it's worth it just for Exo Zombies. Gets a 9 from me.
Ooh, it gets an 8 for me.
Still having a ton of fun killing exosuit zombies. Sorry, family. Stick around. More EP after this. If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back to EP Daily. You have Twitter questions for us, and we will attempt to answer. Today's is from Christian Reyna at Christian Reyna 09. Oh, wait, must have been taken.
It's gone.
What hidden gems can you recommend from last gen? That's an awesome question and one we endeavor to answer quite a bit with our Buried Treasure segment.
Yeah, we're all still kind of looking back because I don't think there was enough for us to do with the awesome PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah.
But a couple games that come to mind for me are racing games. One was Split Second. I really enjoyed that game. I love the way you could make things explode up in front of the other drivers you were competing with. The other one was Blur, which I really wish would get more sequels, and that was sort of the beginning and the end for Activision.
Both of those studios are done.
Gone.
It's
Long
unbelievable.
gone. Good night.
And I've got another one, Saboteur, which was an awesome open world game set in World War II, and you brought color back to France as you destroyed and sabotaged Nazi hangouts. It was an incredible game to play, so addictive.
When you were playing it, you would text me and tell me that you were playing it and how much fun you were having.
It's such a good game. Love that. And remember, you can watch reviews of classic games like that and full episodes and a whole lot more at EPN.tv.
And listen, we're already cooking a new episode of EP Daily, including a story that takes a look at Endgame, Ancient Truth. Thanks for watching.
See you tomorrow.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by GameLock, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.
In some ways similar to what we did with Ingress, there's an ARG component to it, ancientsocieties.com. So there's story, there's YouTube video, there's a lot of depth there. You're going to see an experience that's a little more tightly coupled between the ARG and story on the web and the mobile game. That's one of the learnings from Ingress, is how to kind of weave those things together better. So we're approaching that from the beginning with the goal of really aligning the two.